You alright, guys? How you doing? Hey, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna close the curtains. I'll come back a minute. 1 second. Alright, I'm back. Hey, I am going to be talking about being humble, how to be humble, how to when you it's not being arrogant when you're being humble, it's examining what people are telling you from the heart and the conscience. So you've got to go off that heart and conscience where somebody's look, if I make a mistake, I'm going to admit it. I am, wholeheartedly. I'm not an arrogant person, not whatsoever. But I will stand my ground. Oh, shit, yeah. Even if it means a fight, and I know I'm right, I'm going to stand my ground. But I am humble enough to admit when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like in a boxing match. When you get in a boxing match, you lose your fight, you gotta be humble. You gotta admit that you lost the fight. You gotta, because if you don't, you're not gonna learn, are you? To be better. You know what I'm saying? A lot of boxers, when you look at boxing, because I did kickboxing and Thai boxing myself, right? I did that myself. You gotta understand that it you can put a lot of work into it, right? But understand there's gonna be bigger people and better people than you. That's being realistic. It's being realistic, right? Being a humble person is not a bad thing. A lot of people see it as weakness, right? They see it as weakness. It's not weakness, but when they come to tell you right to your face, don't be doing this about telling Christ and that and the other, that's when you got to stand your ground and say, look, don't matter. I will defend myself. This is not the first century now. It's not the first century. I will defend myself, right? Even Jesus said you had to carry swords in the wilderness, for the wild animals. Well, aren't these people wild animals? You don't carry a knife, you just use your fists. If they come towards you, if it's a knife, that's a different matter. Totally different matter. This is why I won't risk my life on the street. I wouldn't do it because it's stupid. Absolutely stupid. It's asking for trouble. I heard of an MP in England recently saying in the last few days that any preacher on the street that gets arrested is going to fund a lawyer for them. I can't remember which person it was. It is online, him saying it. If you put it in person defending preachers, supply lawyer, you might get it, right? I'm not sure how it were, but apparently, I, any preacher that comes out and gets arrested, preaching about Jesus is gonna fund you to be with a lawyer. He's gonna fund the lawyer to back you up, right? That's good in a way. I think he's a conservative, and the Conservatives. I don't know why he's doing it. I've got question marks on that. I got even question marks on that as well myself. As a Christian, a true Christian, I've got want to know his motives, why he's doing that. Right? Understand. Money. Right? Even I'm skeptical. Right? I'm not saying what he's doing is right is wrong. What I'm trying to say is that things are start ramping up, and you got to be humble about everything that's going on. You got to be truthful, yes, very truthful, right? No, I'm not going to tell you everything that I've done in my life because some things are private between my wife. You know what I mean? Or well, I've been married 3 times, so I've had 3 wives. So that's one thing I will tell you. I've had 3 wives, but the stuff that we did between each other was private. You know what I mean? The reason why I come back, I'm not got a problem telling you that why I came back from abroad. I came back from Ecuador and Australia. I'm gonna tell you the basic reasons why. Of course I am, right? But I'm not gonna tell you my whole fucking life. It's being humble. Some things are private. You know what I mean? Especially when you're intimate with a girl. You know what I mean? Things are private. Now, when it comes to giving a person a humble view of the world and experience in the world, I've been to France, been to Lille in France. Not Lille. What's it called? Southern France. Right? Been down there when I was a teenager. Well, a little bit before I was a teenager. Went down there for a holiday, got smashed out my brains, dragged my knuckles, ended up having that's all I remember basically at that trip. And I know he was into ping pong, this guy, right? And I did some wild shit when I was there. I think I was about, what, 14, something like that, right? Mad as shit. That was my first experience abroad. You know, oh yeah, I do remember one thing. I do remember. This is what you call being humble, right? I'm going to tell you what really happened here, right? That's what I remember now. Oh, now it's coming back to me. I remember I went to this French lad who were running on the campsite. It was like a cafe takeaway kind of thing, and I thought he ripped me off at first. That's what I thought he did at first. Being drunk. Being really, really drunk, by the way. I were drunk. Right? Remember that? I were drunk. Right? Remember this. And I thought he ripped me off. And he gave my brother the money back. Right? He gave my money the brother back. In other words, he didn't charge me. I didn't realise that. I got pissed off and I thought, hang on. I pay for the food and you're giving my brother my money. Why are you doing that? And I didn't realise what he was doing is if my brother put the money back in, he'd get another free meal, if you know what I'm saying, right? This is where the humbleness comes in, right? Seriously. And I got pissed off so much. I got pissed off so much because I didn't understand at that time, right? Because I was young, like 14, 15, something like that. And I went round the side of the the hut and I peed. I pulled out my wiener and peed. Right? I peed everywhere. And they come in, do not be on my dick away, do not be on my dick. In other words, the hut, right? And I went, enculé, mother effer, right? I understand a bit of French and Spanish, right? I'm not stupid, right? I know what I'm saying. Enculé, I said, motherfucker. Like, you give my brother my money and shit, you robbed me and that. You could have given me back, at least. But I were angry. I were really angry, like a dickhead, like a knobhead, right? Anyway, I walked away. And started walking up to the top of the campsite. Way, way away. And I got lost. I didn't know where the fuck I were, literally, right? Anyway, I saw this light coming towards me, and it was shining in my face from a distance, and it came closer and closer, and my back is getting more down and down, where I'm nearly dragging my knuckles, literally on the floor, trying to walk like stupid, like an ape in a way, trying to get up. So that smashed. After what I did with the French guy, I thought, fuck it, I need to get back, so I'll end up getting arrested. That's why I left. And it was my dad. And he shone the torch in my face. Right? Literally in my face. And he said, what you doing? And I couldn't see who it was because there's a big light in my face, right? And I said, who are you? That's what I said. I remember this. I said, who are you? And he goes, who are you? And I said, no, who are you first, fucker? And he said, you're going to say that to your dad? And I went, oh, straight away. I went, oh. I said, show me then, you're my dad. And he's showing his tights on his face, and he went, yeah, I'm your dad. And I went, oh shit. I knew we were in trouble then. And he said, why are you so low to the floor? He asked me, he said, why are you so low to the floor? I said, because I can't carry myself. I'm not smashed. We had loads of beer. I nearly swum across the channel, apparently. According to some people, I said I was going to swim across the channel of the channel to back to England because I didn't like it, apparently, I said. But the later on the night, my dad came up with me and said, look, man, why are you dragging your feet and shit? And I said, I can't walk. I think my dad felt proud but sorry for me in a way, and he slapped me around the head. Obviously, he slapped me around the head and picked me up, and we're coming and walking. And I remember I got in bed in the tent, right, and then I felt sick. Right, but I couldn't get out of my sleeping bag quick enough. So I jumped out in my sleeping bag, hopped, zipped open really quick, jumped out, slipped up a little bit, tried to get to the end of the tent because it was a 12-man tent, tried to get to the end, tried to zip it up before I even get about halfway up with the zip, and I could feel it just about to come out. My dad came behind me and booted me right out. Ba-doom! Literally, he could hear everything. He came up behind me and just kicked me straight out. I went forward, hit my head on the Volvo car, dented it, and bounced back and puked everywhere. And then I think I remember saying something, I need a wee, right? And he said, you're going to get it when you get home. Have your piss. I'm going to watch. You know why? Because there's diamondbacks here. Diamondback snakes in Brittany. That right, Brittany, in Brittany. There's diamondback snakes here, right? If you get bit on the wiener, that's your problem. But I'll tell you one thing, I'll make sure that you get dragged back into the tent. That's what he said to me, Dad. He said, but I'll stand here and you have I couldn't have a pee while my dad were at the back. I couldn't do it. I was busting, but I couldn't do it while my dad were behind me. And he said, he kept saying, fucking just do it. I don't want to stand there here with the snakes and shit. Stood behind me, demanding me to have a piss. And I was smashed out of my brains, man. My dad was looking after me. Well looking after me. Like kept on the back of my neck, you know, with me back of my coat or whatever I had on, like just to make sure I didn't fall into the ground and shit. And he was looking like, come on, people are gonna look fucking strange at us and shit. Telling me to have a piss and that. See, humble times. There's nothing wrong with having humble times. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Examine the heart and the mind. Go back to your childhood times. That's how you get back your sanity. Literally, get back your sanity. Hey, that was just a wild thing, you know what I mean? That was just something I remembered back in the past. There is loads of other stuff, but I'm not going to tell you what happens in the last video I was saying at the end. I'm not going to explain that yet, right? Not properly, anyway. But yeah, you guys, I hope it encourages you to understand that having memories is good. Memories is great, right? Might break your brain once a while, might make you cry, might make you laugh, but that's good. It shows you've got a personality, shows you've got feelings, doesn't it? Right? Shows what God give you. Something to make you feel human, actual human, born given and human. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I hope I've given some kind of laughter, crazy shit in there. I'm just telling you, look, I'm not perfect, not by far, right? But I can see the comedy of it. I can see the laughter of it. That's why God gives us a sense of humor. Because God's got a sense of humor. Do you not think he didn't laugh at that stage when I did? Yeah, he probably laughed. Probably thought, yeah, he's going to learn his lesson. But guess what? we're gonna have a laugh at the same time. Even my dad probably had a laugh at the same time. I don't know. I think he was more scared of the fucking snakes, really. But when I think about it, it's funny. It's funny because there's me trying to piss and my dad's looking around for snakes and shit. You see what I'm saying? It's hilarious. It's funny. It's a good memory. You know what I mean? For me, it is because it was just me and my dad. All the rest were asleep in the tent. But I did think in the morning everyone in the morning asked, why is there a dent in the Volvo? In the wing, you know, the front, in the passenger seat, in the front, the wing, right? I literally dented it with my head. That's why it kicked me out. I dented it, right? Literally went forward, boom, right? In the morning, everyone asking and said, what happened to that? Did you have a car crash, Dad? And he went, no, your brother. I kicked him out. And now I've got to pay for that. It was literally dented big time. Dented big time. Yeah, my dad were a bit annoyed about that. But he shouldn't have kicked me, and it wouldn't have happened. He should have just opened and just poured me out. He shouldn't have booted me out. I wouldn't have gone forward and boot, dong. But anyway, that's life, isn't it? That's life. It's funny. It's great. Enjoy it while you've got it. Please enjoy it while you've got it, because it's not going to last long. You guys have a good one. May God bless you.